Yeah, I just want to clarify something. Everybody's saying that there's been crickets and nobody talking about the budget. Since day one, go back into like August, I've been saying I want a 10% cut in every line item. I've been saying it at every finance meeting. I have the Public Works and Transportation, I say it. I've said it, I can't tell you how many times I've said, I want to see a 10% cut in every line item. So then on my caucus, they're telling me, well, you got to say a dollar amount. We never had to say a dollar amount in the past, never. We just cut it by 1%. That was it. And then we never had this situation where we have to go back to the budget and reconsider. We just said we voted for this levy and then the staff found the money. That's how it's been all. You can shake your head. You're wrong again. And I don't want to get mad and yell at stuff, but I'm just trying to point this out. It's been the same way all the time. Jennifer's been executive last year, right? And it was changed. And we didn't go back to reconsider. The year before that, it was changed, and then we didn't go back to reconsider. This is the first time we had to go back and reconsider the budget based off the levy.
Yeah.
It never happened
Correct.
ever.
You've never had to reconsider because you had made, as was pointed out by multiple members of the county executive, you had made those changes on both sides, both revenue and expenditure. This is the first time this has happened where you're out of line. You make
No,
changes.
we've done that.
You make
We've
changes
done that
every year.
numerous times.
If you go back and look at your own, levy ordinance every year, there are dollar amounts. The budget is a dollar amount. They're not percentages.
I can tell you a real good example because it bothered me for a number of years. We were voting, this is probably about 5 years ago or 6 years ago. There was two people from the Democrat side that voted with the Republicans to lower the taxes, but it would only go down a little. We started off with one number, percentage, and then we would go down to a different percentage, and it ended up that we voted for it because our leader said that this is the best we're going to get. So we all agreed to vote for a lower levy, but it wasn't as low as I wanted. But we all agreed to it because it was the best we could get. So there was no going back and saying, well, we have to change the budget. They just did it. And that was, and no one screamed about it. And the state's attorneys were all here. We had Mary, and now you're coming in and you're changing the rules. And then I agree with Revis. I don't like how, when you guys, we talked about the budget and then we basically asked the question whether or not the budget's going to have an impact on the levy. And the impression, I'm not saying when I'm interpreting your words, it sounds like, it's no problem. You vote for the levy, that's a different thing. Well, if you would have said, if you vote for the budget, it's got to match the levy 100%. You can't go backwards. We would have, that's more understandable. But what you said was that we can't do it after everybody thought on our side, everybody had the impression that the levy was completely separate. And then you'd move back. If we voted for the levy, like we're probably going to do now, I don't see the vote changing. Joe's 100% right. We can sit here till midnight and the vote's not going to change. So, I don't understand why, you're saying things that was never said before. And I've been on the board 14 years.
I will say you can go back and look at every levy. It's a dollar amount. It is not a percentage amount. The law requires you to set a dollar amount. The truth in taxation, the PTEL and all those things we dealt with last year are estimates. Those are percentages. If you're using the percentage as a shorthand to understand what those dollars are, I can't help that. The only reason I spoke up is as your legal counsel to let you know what you might be walking into. I'm not pushing for anything. I'm here to advise you. So to accuse me of having any motive or anything, I'm here to try to help you.
Member Ogala.
Thank you.